All right, let's dive into Algebra 1. Today, we are going to crack the code on this thing. We're going to focus on the most common traps students fall into and turn that confusion into some serious confidence. You know that feeling, right? You're staring at a page full of X's and Y's, and it just feels like a foreign language. If you've ever felt that little wave of panic, trust me, you are not the only one. But here's the secret. Most students get stuck on the exact same things. And since there's a pattern to the problems, well, that means there's a clear roadmap to the solutions. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. We're going to walk through those hurdles one by one and give you a super clear, actionable guide. Ready? Let's get into it. Okay, first things first. I want you to think about algebra as a brand new language. Seriously. And just like any language, it's got its own vocabulary, its own grammar, its own rules you have to learn before you can really speak it. So the most basic word in algebra is the variable. A really common trap is to just think of x as a letter, but it's not. It's a placeholder. Think of it like a little box that's waiting to hold a number we just don't know yet. Now, once we have our words, our variables, we need grammar to build sentences. In math, that grammar is the order of operations. And let me tell you, ignoring it is like throwing words in a blender. You just end up with total nonsense. And the tool for that grammar is PEMDAS. You've probably seen this before, right? Parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, then addition and subtraction. This isn't just a helpful hint, it's the law. It's how everyone, everywhere gets the same right answer. And this is a classic spot where people get tripped up, especially with something called distribution. If you forget to multiply first, following PEMDAS, you're pretty much guaranteed to get the wrong answer. But if you follow the rules, you're on a straight shot to the correct solution every single time. Okay, so we've got the language down. Now it's time to actually use it. Let's talk about the mechanics of solving for x. I want you to picture a perfectly balanced scale. The equal sign is the pivot point right in the middle. If you add a 5-pound weight to one side, what happens? It tips, right? To keep it balanced, you have to add the exact same weight to the other side. That right there, that is the single most important idea in all of algebra. And these are the official moves you're allowed to make to keep that scale balanced. They're called the properties of equality. Basically, you can add, subtract, multiply, or divide as long as you do the exact same thing to both sides. Forgetting this one simple rule is where so many mistakes happen. So let's watch it in action with a classic problem. Our whole goal here is to get x all by itself on one side of that scale. First up, we've got to deal with that -5. So we do the opposite. We add 5 to the left side. But to keep our scale from tipping, we have to do what? That's right, add 5 to the right side too. So now we're left with 3x equals 12. To finally get x alone, we have to undo that multiplication. So we divide the left side by 3. And, you guessed it, we do the exact same thing to the right side to keep everything perfectly balanced. And boom, there it is, x equals 4. See? By just treating the equation like that balanced scale and only using our legal moves, we can figure out any unknown step by step. Okay, so we can find x. But what does that even look like? Now we're going to take algebra off the page and make it visual by putting it on a graph. A huge pitfall for students is making simple mistakes when graphing, like mixing up where the line crosses the axes. Those little points are called intercepts, and let me tell you, they are your best friends for graphing a line fast and getting it right. And the way to find them is so simple, it's almost beautiful. To find where the line hits the x-axis, the x-intercept, you just set y to 0 and solve. To find where it hits the y-axis, you just do the opposite, set x to 0 and solve. That's it. And here's the amazing part. That's literally all you need. Once you find those two little points, where it crosses the x-axis and where it crosses the y-axis, you can draw the entire infinite line that the equation represents. And this gets really powerful when you have two equations. The solution isn't just some number you calculate, it's a place. It's the one single point on the graph where those two lines cross. All of a sudden, algebra becomes a treasure hunt. All right, for our last section, we're going to step away from the numbers for a minute, because the real secret to crushing Algebra 1 isn't just about knowing the formulas, it's about the habits you build. One of the biggest mistakes is thinking you can just learn one topic and then move on. A typical algebra course has about 6 big units, and every single one builds on the one before it. You can't just cram and forget. The only way to get good is consistent practice, making those skills automatic. And that brings us to our final point, and honestly, maybe the most important one. Look, algebra can be tough. It is 100% okay to get stuck. The biggest mistake you can make isn't getting an answer wrong, it's being afraid to ask for help when you need it. At the end of the day, Algebra 1 is about more than just numbers. It teaches you a whole new way to think, a system for taking a confusing problem with some big unknowns and finding a solution, step by logical step. So I'll leave you with this. What other unknowns are out there waiting for you to solve them?